I'll be presenting on determinants of obesity, West Africa, a systematic review. At the end of the presentation, if you have questions or comments, my emails are provided beneath this slide that I will be available for comments and discussions. Obesity, as we may know, is a global issue. That their projections that by 2030, 650 million adults are going to be obese. 2018 alone, obesity accounted for about 71% of the world's NCDs. For us in the lower LMICs, that's the lower and middle income countries, obesity for the past 15 years has $7 trillion in terms of death.
Kingsley, sorry, the audio is just breaking up. If you could, I'm not sure what the problem is. Maybe if you could just stay closer to the microphone at all times, that might help.
Okay, am I sounding better now?
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Okay, so
Thank you.
West Africa alone, about 52 million people are living with obesity, which makes it a very epidemic for obesity. And over the years, governments within the South region have come out with policies and policies to help prevent and control obesity. However, these policies have not worked out the way they ought to, the way they ought to have worked. Just a second, I'm just trying to change my machine. Okay, I think it's better now here. So there's a need to have obesity under control and management. So one of the key objectives of this research is to find out what the gaps are in the literature and find a way to go about it. So the next slide, which I'm going to show you, was President of the Republic, presenting before Parliament the State of the Nation address, where he drummed home the need for Ghanaians to have very good attitude towards the whole issue of obesity. So if you indulge me a bit, just share with you.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kingsley. I think you have joined the meeting from two devices. Can you completely, yes, can you reduce the volume of any one device into zero completely? There is some echo from your side.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so.
And we lost your slides now.
Just a second. Is the screen better, please? Hello?
Yes, we can see your slides. Please put it on full screen.
Okay. So
please put it on slideshow. Just click on enable editing and
okay, so this is a presentation by His Excellency the President of the Republic before Parliament, drumming home the need for obesity to be controlled and managed. If you indulge me a bit, I'm playing the audio.
Is there any audio in this video?
It's a video, please. It's playing.
Yes, but we can't hear any audio. Towards your right side, there will be an option to share your system audio. Just move your cursor to the top, where once you click on more options, you will find share system audio option, system audio or computer audio or some option like that.
Okay, so maybe at the end of the presentation, I'll send it appropriately, but I'm having a system mess up here. So essentially, the video that I attempted to play to you was His Excellency the President of the Republic presenting before Parliament of Ghana the State of the Nation address and drum home the need for Ghanaians to have a behavioral change or lifestyle change in order to address the issue of obesity. So, like I alluded to earlier on, there has been a lot of research in Africa or West Africa or LMIC or lower and middle income countries on the need to have obesity reduced drastically. So several obesity determinants could be identified that inform the literature. The literature provided a lot of determinant, so supported with a stakeholder engagement that we conducted. The aim of the research was to find out and review that obesity, the demand for multi-level modeling was not met by the literature, and that there's a need to find other factors that were associated with obesity. So these were the two main aims of the research. So we conducted a comprehensive syntax. About 4,000 records were found. We screened down and we settled on 63 studies after looking at the data extraction, review, and findings that inform the literature. We did a scoping review. We conducted a scoping review, and three major databases were used. That's the Scopus, the Web of Science, and the PsycInfo. In addition, we sought further information from stakeholders. So on the screen now, I'm trying to share with you how the whole process of the papers were conducted using the databases. As you can see, our search terms were very clear: obesity or BMI, body mass index, or overweight, weight gain, obesity, weight, and changes. So these were the main, and all the countries in Africa were the research setting areas. So we had to screen, and we set up what we call the eligibility criteria. And that's papers that were selected were in full review. We examined determinants of obesity. The paper had to be in English because there's a lack translation for other papers that were not in English for purpose of language. Because then again, the sample that we used was a sample the sample came from the West Africa setting. Again, I don't know if this is going to play, but this was a video news item on the first ever stakeholder engagement that was conducted as part of the research, because we realized that for us to be able to have to do a very detailed work, there was a need to involve the stakeholders. And for stakeholders, we again wanted to have a multi-sectorial approach towards the management and prevention of obesity. So the first ever stakeholders workshop was conducted in Ghana, where we had about 54 participants. We drew participants from the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health essentially is the government ministry that is responsible for health policies in Ghana. There were participants from the Ghana Health Services. The Ghana Health Services is the agency that is responsible for the administration of health. We drew participants from the Works and Housing Ministry, because if we're able to have a very holistic approach towards obesity, then there's a need to see how our environments are built, how constructions are done, whether these constructions or these environments create an environment that is enabling enough for walkability and other physical activities, access to fruits and veg shops, access to fast food joints. All were some of the reasons why we involved the Ministry of Works and Housing. Again, the Ministry of Education was also involved, but they were also participants. The reason being that the Ministry of Education is the ministry that is responsible for curriculum development. So there was a need for them to understand obesity, the implications of obesity. Therefore, they need to include a lot of physical activities in the curriculum of students. Again, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture was also involved. The reason being that what we eat, how we grow what we eat, and the way they are even cooked all forms part of the predicators for obesity. So the Ministry of Food and Agriculture was involved, medics, non-medics, the Ministry of Youth and Sports. That is the ministry that is responsible for youth development. So we had a multi-sectorial approach towards obesity, and the results were very, 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 very alarming. This stakeholder engagement preceded a presentation by His Excellency the President. So what it meant was that the stakeholder workshop afforded us the opportunity to make an input into the President's State of the Nation address before Parliament. Just a second. Okay, so 63 papers or 63 studies that we selected. We went through the various selection procedures. We screened on the general headings, being the general information, as we can see on our screen, the methodologies used, the objectives of the paper, and we settled as I alluded to earlier on. 63 papers were finally selected. Majority of them, that's about 44 of them used primary data, while the remaining used the secondary data. The sample size of the studies range between 59 to 6,959. And that the studies with secondary data also included studies that had a range of 600 to 1,225,816. So this was the process of the PRISMA, and this is how I settled on the 63 papers that were reviewed. Again, because of the West African setting, you can see that the research setting was going to be in Ghana here. Though for the purposes of having the literature very broad, we extended to West Africa. And this slide shows that 22 of the papers that we selected came from Ghana, and it follows as shown on the screen. Now, area level variables, as I was alluding to earlier on, and the variables that we used showed that the neighborhood number of studies, the neighborhood was about 1 that used the neighborhood as a variable. One there was just one study that used neighborhood, and it was even area based on primary sampling units, which corresponded to census and ratio. So we even used as at the time of the research, there were just 10 regions in Ghana. But as I present now, we now have 16 regions in Ghana. So the findings of the literature indicated that obesity is really, really a big deal. And the determinants in West Africa are essentially demographic, lifestyle, biological, and socioeconomic factors. And therefore, these findings present the need for us to have a broader stakeholder engagement workshops in order to be able to, come out with policies that will be readily accepted by all the people that are involved in the ecosystem of research. Because the literature, even though mentions that there's a need to use stakeholder engagement in most research, we found out that there was paucity of it in the use of contemporary research, especially research on obesity in West Africa. So there's a need for all of us, or there's a need for academia to involve policyholders in whatever we set out to do, so that once they are involved from the outset of such research, when you are done and finally present to them, its implementation will be very, very, very useful to them, because they will feel very much involved in the whole process. But as has been the case in previous studies or previous findings, you realize that academia usually is too remote
or too far away from policyholders. And therefore, most researches are not well implemented because policyholders at times feel a bit threatened or feel that what academic or what academians bring to them may not be the reality. Thank you very much. And I recommend that provide more evidence on the obesity to profile obesity intervention programs in West Africa. And again, it buttresses the point that there's a need to have more stakeholder engagement when we are conducting some of these researches in order to be able to get everybody on board. Thank you.